Let's talk lawn equipment. As a homeowner, these are some of the pieces of equipment that I use. Just mostly for lawn care and just for pressure washing, etc. I did a video in which I discussed this piece of equipment and how disappointed I am in Husqvarna, and how I explained how I bought a Husqvarna chainsaw years and years ago, and I was very disappointed. It was very junky, and it quickly kind of disintegrated with my heavy use. I used it quite heavily, but I just wasn't pleased, and I told myself I would never buy another piece of Husqvarna equipment. But in a pinch, that's what they had in the store, and I needed something quickly, and it was very affordable. So I grabbed one, thinking, "Hey, you never know. Maybe they're better now." It's not for my money. By the way, I have since learned that you can get a Stihl blower for about the same. I think I paid about $150 for this piece of junk, and I was in Ace Hardware, and I saw a Stihl blower for about the same price. Drives me crazy. I mean, the gas powered, not the battery powered. So let me say this. I did it in that video that I did about this. I made an assumption, and that assumption was that you all assumed that I had some common sense, or at least a cursory knowledge of these things and how they function and what I need to maintain them. Well, I took that for granted. No, people assumed I'm a dummy, and that's fine. But what the assumption was, hey, mostly, you're using the wrong kind of gas. I assure you that I don't use regular gas in my expensive equipment. I use ethanol free only, and I use fuel treatments. So the point that I was making is this damn thing won't start, and it's not. And everybody said, "Well, you can't leave them sitting." Well, I want to take issue with that. I should be able to leave these sitting, any of these, for a reasonable amount of time. I shouldn't have to run the fuel dry and, to have it sitting for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I shouldn't have to do that. The carburetor designs should, if they're carbureted, they should be designed as such so that I can use them somewhat infrequently. Now, naturally, I don't expect to store it for a year and have it be okay. I should winterize it and drain the fuel, etc. But this Husqvarna, I bought the thing, I used it. I didn't use it at one point for a couple of weeks. I went to start it, could not start it. Now, we're talking about a new piece of equipment. Conversely, any piece of Stihl equipment I've had, this is not an ad for Stihl, they don't pay me, they just build reliable equipment. Any piece of equipment I've ever had from them, I can leave it sitting for a reasonable amount of time, twice, 3 times, 4 times as long as I leave the Husqvarna, and they start up fine. I'm going to prove that to you. I've even got a Craftsman, and I'm not really kind to Craftsman. That's a mower that I bought for $25. It was brand spanking new. I bought it at a thrift shop. It was shiny, and it was showroom. But the person had bought it and left it sitting for a while. They probably bought it at the end of the season. And so I knew it was a carburetor, and I bought it, cleaned the carburetor, and it worked like a champ. I've had it for several years. But even that Craftsman starts. I didn't even winterize it this year. I just started it a few times. It's fine. Okay, that does not. And the problem that I have, and I don't want to make this a tirade, but I just want to be clear. The main problem is you can't get the damn carburetor out, and that adds insult to injury. Yes, you can. I mean, you can't get it out easily. To get this carburetor out, I had to take this screw, this screw, this screw, and these screws, and take this whole side panel off. You see that? to get at that carburetor, to get at the choke lever, all those things. I'm not a small engine repair guy. I mean, I do it. I have to do it for my equipment. But that was the only way I could get the carburetor out. That's a pain in the ass, especially if you're going to have a design that is not highly functional and reliable. If you're going to have to be cleaning your carburetor, at least make the damn thing so you can get it out. So anyway, to me, it's hard for me to be kind. This is junk, and it aggravates me because I'm going to give it away. I'm going to donate it. I talked about that, but anyway, let's go through this. Oh, by the way, that is of course not you. Yes, you noticed that's not a gas-powered machine. That is a Stihl leaf blower, and it is battery powered. So I love that. There's no maintenance. You just replace the battery. That's great. And it works great. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's start these up. None of them are warmed up. Let's just see how it goes. All right. Let's start here with the Honda pressure washer. Now, I assure you, this is not warmed up. This would be a regular start. Now that is cold. That is cold. That is not warmed up. I'm actually surprised it started the first time. That doesn't always happen. And of course, I turned the water on to start that. Now let's start this Stihl. I've got two of these Stihl chainsaws, and one of them is larger, and it's at the farm. Primer bulb. Choke. Okay, that's good. That's not been used in, yeah, I haven't used that in weeks. Let's try this. Here's the Honda. This is a Honda generator. I've got one of these at the farm, a little bit smaller, and this one here. And none of these have been winterized. Again, great piece of equipment. Again, not warmed up. Let's put the choke. Ow. There is gas. I'm going to leave the Honda generator running because it hasn't been running in a while, and I want to make sure we're seeing that gas out of that carburetor. All right, let's do the Craftsman now. Not warmed up, cold. that's kind of junky. It usually starts out. All right, well, there's the Craftsman. And all of these pieces get used about the same. Simply because I don't usually mow my own lawn. I have a lawn service, but I do this in between services occasionally. And these I use here and at my rental properties and on the farm, so they get used about as frequently. Okay, that was not fun. That was a workout. Now finally, this, well, I shouldn't even bother, because I have tried to start this thing repeatedly. I tinkered with the carburetor and no luck. I could do that all day. So there you go. Yes, I use ethanol-free gas. Yes, I use treatment. And my Hondas and my Steels always work. I've had Kawasaki. They're good. I've had, I can't think of the other one. I've got a Hustler mower, and it's got a good what is it, not Cobalt, I can't think. But anyway, they all start, they all work, and they work for years. Not that, okay? So I thought of what the mower on the farm is. It's a Kohler, and I've had a couple of Kohlers, and they're pretty good as well. I've had very little problem with them. I've heard complaints, but that one I've had for a few years, and it works fine. And let me say, the mower here, I don't know if that's a Tecumseh engine or a Briggs & Stratton, but it's usually about the same. They're just cheaply they're just not well made, these engines. And I think I've reiterated that these are all used about the same. They're used somewhat infrequently, but again, I contend that you should not have to. And if you own one of these pieces of Honda equipment, you know you don't have to run it out of gas. You can do that. I've done that with things that I think I'm not going to use for a while. Certainly with these generators, because I just don't use them a lot. But you can also drain the oil, drain the gas, run out the carburetor before you drain the oil, and you can winterize them that way, and they'll last for a long time. So I just wanted to clear those things up. And I've never had a McCulloch chainsaw, by the way. That's supposed to be a really good one. This is a homeowner, a consumer unit. Nothing commercial about it. It's not great, but it's got a good Honda engine on it. But I don't expect to get more than maybe a few years out of it. I keep it out of the sun and rain, and I should get longer than average, because I'll take care of it. But there you go. Thanks for watching. Oh, and you are welcome. You know, the trolls, there's a lot of trolls out there that love to just sit and tell you what you're doing wrong. You saw me start the chainsaw with the guard on. Oh, they're going to love that. So you can read the comments below, the highly intelligent trolls telling me what a mistake I made. But anyway, there you go. That's a gimme. All right. Thank you all. Be well.